All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we got more of a, it's going to be a shorter video than normal, just a quick update style video. But we got a lot of good stuff to go over. So we're going to dive straight into this. Let me tell you what we're going to be getting into so we can just go right into it. First up, we're going to be looking at what you see in the on the screen right here. Bandai has put out an official like One Piece TCG OP09 spoiler. We're going to check that out first, okay? That's the first thing we're going to check out today, and then we're going to segue out of there, from there into some of the spoilers that we're going to see in this spoiler video, however you want to say that. We'll talk about that. Then we'll move over to the community gameplay review, which I think I finally got a decent name for it. Okay, I do want to, I'll run that by y'all when we get to that section. Someone came out with a name in the, I think it was in my previous video, and I was like, man, I kind of do like that name. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Then we will go all the way over to the sim. We're going to do one game of Reiju, okay, on the sim. And this is not your standard Reiju list. This is not Vin Smoke Family, Germa 66 stuff. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Then we'll finish off the video with a deck analysis of that Reiju list I'm running. I'll give my final thoughts and we'll wrap it up in that way. Okay. You know what you're getting into now, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into it. I'll have everything timestamped in the comment section below, or excuse me, in the general description. So that way you can just skip around the video if you don't want to get all the spoilers and all that good stuff. But with that, with that in mind, we are going right into OP09 now, guys. So spoiler warning right now, spoiler warning. Here we go. Let's check out what Bandai left for us, what kind of clues they left for us coming up for OP09. I've got the volume off. This is on 2x speed. And check this out. I believe this is the scene where Shanks is like, it's time to claim the One Piece. I could be wrong. You guys help me out. Correct me in the comment section. Maybe I misheard that from someone else talking about it. I still follow spoilers and stuff, guys, even though I don't watch the anime or read the manga. I still follow a lot of this stuff just by hearing people talk about it locally and things like that. So very cool stuff here. Like I said, okay, Shanks is getting serious now. Check this out, guys. So there are 6 new leaders coming out in OP09. I will do a review of the 6 leaders to tell you what I think about them, like a prediction style video for a tier list. But that's coming up, guys. I'll do that probably in a week or so. I know a lot of content creators have already done that. Here's one of them. Here's Lim, and this is going to be exploring the Odyssey type. Okay, a new type, not a new type, quote unquote, but a new type to the game, pretty much. Nico Robin, check out the card in the background. We're going to be looking at that card today and talking about that. Okay, and then we've got the 4 Emperors, right? Luffy is one of them now. Okay, so, sorry, guys, that went too fast. We've got Buggy first, they're showing. We're going to check out that Crocodile card. I have already looked at the leaders, by the way, guys. I just haven't really, predicted where they'll be in the meta. That's for another video in the future. We got Blackbeard. Okay, this character I can't wait to talk about. Sanji, and then one more. Okay, Ben Beckman, actually one more. This one right here, guys. Wait till you see this. Okay, look at this art. That is outrageous. This art is so good, guys. Absolutely love it. This will definitely be in an art critique in the near future. Great stuff here. We're going to talk about this card as well, don't worry. Okay, and then it has the date. So this is coming out in the East, August 31st. So for the West, I would pretty much just add 4 months to that. So for us, we'll probably get it around December. Okay, that's the best I can say on that. The best prediction I can make on that, because that's kind of how far we're about 3.5 to 4 months off from the East when it comes to releases. They're ahead of us, of course. Okay, so there's that. That's over with. That was the part 1A I was talking about. Now it's time to look at each one of these spoilers individually. Okay, first up, we've got Nico Robin. Check this out, guys. Let me set up. Let me get all ready for this. This is a 6-cost yellow 6,000 power character with a 1k counter and Straw Hat Pirates type. On play, if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, trash up to 1. Excuse me. Trash up to 1 of the top of your opponent's life. Trigger, play up to 1 cost 3 or less yellow character from your hand. So I know a lot of people were really excited about this card. I think it's a little bit limiting. Because, okay, the on-play is very powerful if your opponent has 3 or more life, right? But once they're down to 2 and 1 and 0 life, this card basically is just a very understated vanilla card. Now, the potential upside that it has, if they have 3 or more life, is very strong because you're trashing the life card. Understand, guys, they're not getting the card to their hand. They're not activating a trigger. It's almost like it gets banished. Just boom, it goes right to the trash. So that on-play is very powerful. The trigger is also interesting. playing a 3 cost or lower, excuse me guys, spitting all over the place, play up to 1 cost 3 or less yellow character from your hand. We'll have to see what all options will be available, especially to this Nico Robin style deck, because this is obviously geared towards Nico Robin, the leader. So we have the character here and then the leader. But I will say I'm not head over heels for this card, but I don't think it's bad. I'm not saying this is a bad card at all. I'm just not a huge fan. I'm just not a huge fan of this card. Yes, if you're playing against like a 5-life leader, then this effect is even stronger, especially if you can just slam it down right on turn 3, going second. But other than that, I think it's a little bit limited in what it's doing, because once your opponent's under 3 life, this is just a 1k counter in hand. You know what I mean? But either way, like I said, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just not like head over heels. You guys tell me if I'm missing something in the comment section below. Excuse me. All right, next up we got Crocodile. Check this out, guys. 7 cost, 7,000 power with a 1k counter. These are big characters with 1k counters. You know what I mean? Like, typically speaking, once we get to the 7, 8, 9, 10 range, you don't really see many characters with 1k counters at that point, because they usually have very powerful effects, you know, to compensate for that. But guys, 7 cost, 7,000 power with a 1k counter. Let's hear the effect. On play, play up to 1 character card with the cross guild type or with a type including Baroque Works, and it costs a 5 or less from your hand. So it has to be a character that costs 5 or less that is a cross guild or Baroque Works from your hand, right? The way it's worded is very strange, because I'm assuming, and someone correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, it says play up to 1 character with the cross guild type, or with a type including Baroque Works and a cost of 5 or less from your hand. That and a cost of 5 or less from your hand does not only apply to Baroque Works, but also to cross guild type characters, right? I'm assuming so, because then it would be then it would be outrageous, right? If you know, if you could just play out a bunch of these huge characters. But this will obviously be like your turn 5 go-to play, I'm assuming, for Buggy, where it's like, okay, I'm going to tap 5 Dawn, I'm going to trash I think it trashes a card from hand, I can't remember, and now I'm going to cheat out this 7-cost character, which cheats out a 5-cost character. Like, this will be an incredible tempo play, very interesting. I think this card has a lot of potential. Very, very powerful. And it has a 1k counter. 7 cost 7k with a 1k counter. That is a very nice stat line, I have to say. That is a very nice stat line. Okay, next up we got Sanji. This is a Sanji purple character, 7 cost, 7,000 power, Straw Hat Pirates, counter plus 1,000. Again, these high cost characters with counter power, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff. On play. Okay, here we go. You may return 1 or more of your Dawn cards from play to your Dawn deck. 1 or more. So in other words, the right answer here is obviously to return 2, right? Because you have to return 1, period, to do this, the next part of the effect. But go ahead and return 2 and play this in a black-purple Luffy deck where you can get those Dawn cards right back. You see what I'm saying? This character then gains Rush for this turn, and then rest up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters. So you're tapping down to 6 or less. This guy's getting Rush. This card, guys, very strong. This card is very, very solid. It's a 7 cost 7k Rusher with a 1k counter and the ability to tap down one of your opponent's characters. And since the effect, this goes absolutely perfectly with the new 4-life purple-black Luffy leader. Because if you return 2 Dawn cards back with this effect, because remember, it says you may return 1 or more of your Dawn. So if you choose to return 2 Dawn back, that will activate your leader's effect. And now those 2 cards, those 2 Dawn cards are coming back into play, and one's coming back active. So it kind of is about the same thing for what this character's doing, but it will at least let you offset the Dawn -1 for activating the effect. So really good stuff there. Really, this is a really cool card. I like that he has in his hand there, you see like he's got like the little capsule to turn into his character. Really, really cool art there. Okay, let's keep going, guys. We got more and more. We got 3 more bangers here. Okay, we got Ben Beckman, red character, 7 cost, 7,000 power, 1k counter. Are you guys seeing a theme? 7 cost, 7,000 power, 1k counter. 7, and again, and again, and again. I like that stat line, guys. I'm a big fan. Now, let's see what this is a red hair pirates type character, of course. On play, let's see. This effect, guys, I remember this is a very solid effect. Trash up to one of your opponent's characters with a power of 6,000 or less. This trashes the card. Not KO, right? So this means it's trashing a Borsalino, a Sabo, a Fukuro. No one runs that anymore. But the point is, anything that says cannot be KO'd, it's bottom decking, or excuse me, it's trashing it. And even potentially, you know, like if there's a card with an on KO effect, okay, just trash it now. outstanding. This card is really excellent. And I think this is just a great all-around card. And in fact, out of these 3 7-cost, 7,000 power characters with 1K counters that we saw, I actually like Ben Beckman the most. I'm not saying he's the most powerful. In fact, if I had to say which one's the most powerful, it's probably Crocodile. Being able to cheat out a 5-cost up right there with the 7K, that's just incredible. And then Sanji's not bad either. Getting Rush and tapping down a 6 or lower, that is just insane as well. But guys, this is nothing to scoff at here. I love removal. Black is the color that I usually play in this game. So having it on a character like this, boom, pop your dude, and I'm coming right through. And of course, I'm always thinking like red, yellow Sabo in the back of my mind. And who knows, this might be a card to play around in there. Might not be. We'll have to see. We'll have to do some play testing. But imagine you just keep recycling this effect basically for 8 Dawn. Because it's like, okay, play this out and trash your 6K character, attach 1 Dawn to my leader to put this card right back on top, and then smash in with whatever else you had on board. And now they come in to attack you, you get it back, and just rinse and repeat. You're just trashing characters on their board. And they're not getting the on-KO effects. They're not getting any protection. I think this card is really strong. Like I said, I'm not saying it will be great in Sabo, but there's some potential there. Okay, next up. Stay on the Red Hair Pirates here for a second. We've got Shanks. Guys, dude, look. This Shanks is awesome. I have to say this. I do think that the other Shanks is a little... I don't want to say better, but I like it better. The 10 cost 12K that has an on-play KO, a 10,000 power character or less. But guys, this one kind of can do the same thing if it's rested. Because, alright, all of your opponent's characters have minus 1,000 power. That is a blanket effect on this character. Did I even read, guys? It's a 10 cost, 12,000 power character, Red Hair Pirates type, Yonka Red Hair Pirates type. Has Rush. 10 cost 12K with Rush. That's already strong. But then on top of that, all of your opponent's characters have minus 1,000 power, period. Like, that's not your turn only. That's not on your opponent's turn only. That is just across the board. This card, and then it's going to swing in for 12K, right? This card is very, very strong. I'm a huge fan of this card. I don't have a whole lot to talk about right now with it. Excuse me. But I think on following turns, if this card sticks, which, hey, 10 cost 12K is probably going to stick most of the time. If this card sticks for 1 turn, if you start chaining these together, and now this is like the Foxy Pirates effect, right? Like the purple, the 7 cost 7K, and that was just on your opponent's turn. This one is just flat out, all of your opponent's characters have minus 1,000 power. So when they go to defend, if it's a blocker, less to defend with. And if they go to attack as an attacker, less to attack with. I think this card is incredible. I think a lot of people are a little bit underwhelmed by the effect, but I think this card is extremely good. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Now, we got one more spoiler. Okay, we got one more. I'll let you guess who it is. I'm sure everyone saw from the spoiler, or from the little video we watched. Of course, it's Blackbeard, Marshall D. Teach. Look at this character, guys. This is a Marshall D. Teach, black character, 10 cost, 12,000 power, 4 Emperors, Blackbeard Pirates type, blocker. Okay, I could have stopped there and been like still happy, but listen to this effect. Listen to this effect. Activate main once per turn. If your leader has the type Blackbeard Pirates, and if this character, excuse me, was played this turn, excuse me, guys, sorry, up to one of your opponent's leader effects are negated for the rest of the turn. So think about a Nell, by the way, guys. How strong would this be against a Nell, right? So their effects are negated for the rest of the turn. And then after this, up to one of your opponent's character's effects are negated until the end of your opponent's next turn. That character also cannot attack. This card comes into play and says, you're not attacking, and guess what? He's a blocker. So that other guy they want to attack with, yeah, I'll just block with this guy. This shuts down 2 attacks in 1 turn for the most part, and then totally turns off the leader effect the turn it comes into play. Seems good. Guys, I think this card right here is outstanding. Excuse me, sorry guys. But one thing I want to mention, I think this is just a good card to run in black now. And everyone's like, yeah, but it's leader locked. It's leader locked to Blackbeard Pirates. This is a 10 cost, 12,000 power blocker in every single deck. Okay, in every deck that can run black. So yes, you won't be able to activate the main unless your leader's Blackbeard Pirates. And the activate main is incredible. Okay, it is incredible. But that is still a 10 cost, 12,000 power blocker in any and every deck that can run it. Just incredible, guys. Like, that is solid. You have to understand, dropping this character down means your opponent is going to have 1 less attack every single turn that you choose to leave this character active at the end of yours. I think this card is extremely good. And that effect that we were just reading there, saying, okay, your leader can't activate their effect, you know, or excuse me, we're going to negate your leader's effect for the rest of this turn. And then after this, up to one of your opponent's character's effects are negated until the end of your opponent's next turn. That character also cannot attack. Just, I mean, guys, this card's great. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I was really excited when I saw these two cards, Blackbeard and Shanks, and the rest are good as well. But these two in particular, man, these feel powerful. Big fan of that because, guys, it's a 10-cost character. I want to have an incredibly powerful effect of some sort. It doesn't always have to be the same. Like, this is one type of effect. This is a totally different type of effect. Absolutely love it. And this, guys, think of this real quick. If this character survives one turn, minus 1,000 power to all your opponent's characters. Like, let's say you untap and pass turn. Somehow, if the game's not over yet, and this card's just on the board, and they go to attack you with, like, let's say they attack you with a 6,000 power character, right? Just for this example. Okay, well, they get minus 1,000 power from this guy. Now it's down to 5. And then when they go to swing with your leader, you can minus them down to 4. And then, you know, you just survive that attack. Or, one more thing I want to mention is if you're running the Red Hawk. If you're running Red Hawk, let's say they swing at you for 8K. After reductions, like say it would have been a 9K, but then minus 1,000 from this guy. Okay, so they swing at you for 8K. Red Hawk. And now you're going to be able to pop a 6,000 power character or less on your opponent's field who hasn't even swung yet with Red Hawk. Because they'll have minus 1,000 from this character. And they'll have minus 1. You can choose to give them another minus 1,000 from your leader's effect. Guys, a lot of cool stuff happening here. I'm very happy with the direction they're choosing to go with red. I think this is a good thing. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Okay, and that's it. So, and we already talked about Blackbeard. All right, really good stuff there, guys. Y'all give me just a second. I got to set us up on the actual game of the day here. The, hang on, I got to put up this. There we go. All right, we're good to go now. Move my head over. So someone, I think their name was Angel Ortega. They said, why don't you call it something like the lab or something? And I think that's the way for us to go, guys. I think we need to start calling this segment like the, you know, like when I introduced at the beginning of the video. Sorry, guys, I'm like stumbling everywhere right now. Maybe I say like, all right, and for today's VV Lab, we're going to be checking out so-and-so's game of Belo Betty versus Belo Betty. We might call it that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Is it too cringy or do you like it? I kind of liked it. But that was the first one, because I've heard some people, there have been a lot of recommendations, and it's not that I didn't like them. I just wasn't head over heels. I'm trying to find like the perfect one, and I liked the lab. I think there's something there. If not, we can keep calling it whatever. Okay, let's keep going. Now, this first game here, let me make sure the volume's off. Let me make sure we're on 2x speed. We're not. There we go. Now we are. And we are good to go. So this game today, guys, we have got Belo Betty versus Belo Betty. Now, y'all know Red Yellow Sabo is the way that I choose to go with Red Yellow. All right, and by the way, we're starting off with a... oh, gosh, I missed it. Hang on. We're starting off with a... Whoops. We're starting off with a... Belo Betty search, and what did they get? They got the Sabo. Is that a 2K counter Sabo? The resolution on this is not 1080. Let me see if it goes. It does go up. Hang on. Nice. Okay, so no, it's not a 2K counter, but this is like a Sabo card that's really solid. Okay, and it just kind of stopped on me. Hang on one second, guys. Hopefully, did my internet go out? I gotta look over. No, the internet didn't go out. Let me just hit play. Ah. There we go. Sorry, guys. It like locked up. I have been having issues with the power. Florida weather. That's all I'm going to say. I lost my power earlier. Hopefully it doesn't go out in the middle of this video. I'll be so sad. Okay. So I missed everything trying to explain that to you guys and trying to get the video running again. So the Belo Betty player on top established a 4-cost Ivankov, which cheated out the Kuma. The Belo Betty on the bottom established the 5-cost Emporio Ivankov, which cheated out a Inazuma. Okay, so we got some cheating going on left and right here, right? Okay, and now they're going to... It looks like they swung for 5. It looks like they might have taken it. I do have to back up just a little bit. Swung for 5. They do take it, which is... Taking at a 5K attack is a little bit scary, okay, guys? But I don't know how much life gain is in these decks, because there are 6 cards in their hand, in the top player's hand. Okay, they use Emporio Ivankov there. They're buffing all their characters by trashing the Lucy. And now they're going to be able to swing pretty decently here. One thing about Red Yellow Belo Betty that I don't like. See, every time I pause this video, something happens. I don't understand. Sorry, guys. There we go. One thing about Belo Betty that I'm not a huge fan of is the trashing cards from hand to get these buffs. Yes, the buffs are extremely powerful, but I almost wish that it didn't have that, and I wish it just buffed one character a turn by plus 3,000. I wish that's what I wish Belo Betty did. It doesn't do that. We got to just deal with it. But I wish that's what they did. Okay, and they're swinging all out here, very aggressively counting out at the bottom there, trying to keep their life total high. I do think that's the right play in this situation, because look at your opponent's board here. It might have been a little bit... All right, hear me out, because now I have not seen this video, guys, but if I had to assume what the player on the bottom is going to do, it's time to go all in. You're not surviving this board next turn. There's no way, because there's no removal in the hand. I think it would have been a little bit smarter there to just double down and go, you know what, I'm going to take all these hits down to 0, and then I'll counter out of that if I have to, right? Make it where you go down to 0 life, and then try to get more triggers out of your life. Okay, let's see what happens. They draw an Ivankov for the turn. Okay, trashing a card from hand to give some characters plus 3k. Going to give it to the Sabo. Going to give it to the Inazuma. And going to give it to the Ivankov. Very nice. 8 on here. Okay, one thing I would have done differently as well is I would have played out Karasu. Play out the Karasu to give him minus 1,000. Because that will give... You see how you gave 3 Dawn to your Satori, right? So this would have been what I would consider like just a slight misplay. Because if you had just played out your Satori for 4... that would have given plus 1,000 power to all of your characters. You understand what I mean? Because he comes in and says minus 1,000 power to your leader. It might not matter. You probably have enough on board. Excuse me. That would have given plus 5,000 power to your characters, right? Because 1,000 for your leader and then 1,000 for each character because it would have been a 4,000 power leader. But I think you're going to be just fine here. You have so much going on for you. Swing 7. He counters out of that one. 9. He can't counter out of that one. Swing for 10. And then you're going to swing for 8 with leader. Okay. But hopefully you see what I'm saying there. So hear me out one more time. If in that situation, trashing the card to give your guy plus 2,000, or give your 3 guys plus 3,000, absolutely. That was the right play 100% of the time. Notice what was in your life, by the way. If you had taken one more, again, it was probably not a huge deal because you're going for game no matter what, and you had enough to go through. But the technically better play would have been to take the life and have the potential for another attacker on the board, and look what it was. It was a Kikanojo. Then on this turn, you would have had 5 characters and your leader. And in that situation, then you wouldn't need to play the Karasu because you already had everything on the board. There's no reason to get rid of a character that hasn't swung yet and use that effect. Hopefully that made sense. Really fast, really good game. This game was like 4 turns, guys. That's the nice thing about some of these blitz decks, right? Like this game was so fast, and that's enjoyable sometimes, right? Some people just like to get in there, grind games out. Let's have some quick games, fast games, so I can move on and get as much experience as possible. That's a great thing to do at the start, and if that's your style, this is a great deck for you if that's your style. Anyone who's just looking for like a blitzy aggro list, it does not get much more blitzy and aggro than Red, Yellow, Belo Betty. Now, like I said, I'm not a massive fan of her leader effect, trashing a card from hand to buff 3 characters plus 3,000 that are Revo Army, or is it Revo Army or trigger characters? I can't remember exactly. Whatever the case is, it can give plus 3,000 power buffs to certain characters. But I will say this, if you can fill up the board like this, and you're not playing against an opposing leader that can just remove characters on the board like Lucci, then this character or this leader can really, really run over your opponent. Really good stuff here. That was fun. That was a very good one. Like I said, just one more thing I just want to mention on this final turn here. This is what I was saying. So right here, you attach 3 to the Satori. You already trashed the Morley to give plus 3,000 to the characters that were appropriate. That part was absolutely fine. Attach 1 Dawn to Sabo to give them the plus 2k. Perfect. Everything's perfect right there. But right here, the only thing I would have done differently in this situation, other than taking more life last turn to get more potential triggers, is instead of using 3 Dawn to get a plus 3,000 power attack, I would rather use 4 Dawn to play out the Karasu that's going to give you plus 5,000 power. Do you see what's going on there? Because he reduces the power of Belo Betty by 1 for the turn, getting it down to 4. And now that acts as giving each one of your characters plus 1,000 power for the turn. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully that made sense. If not, just say something in the comment section below. At the end of the day, you still had plenty of damage to get through. It wasn't even close. And like I said, if you had made a slightly different play by taking more life cards, because you knew you were going to go all in on this turn, right? Like the idea was, yeah, I'm obviously going all in here because look what they have on the board for next turn, and I have no removal. So it's like, okay, I'm all in here. So I'll just go down to 0 life because who would have, you could have gotten either a trigger card, like, and by the way, of course, we knew the trigger was coming, right? We knew Kikinojo was coming, but also there could have been something in there like a rush card if you run something like that. You know what I mean? All right, really good stuff there. That was a good game. That was a fun one to watch. Very quick game. I love those. Okay, now from here, we're actually going to hop over to another game on the sim. We're going to be checking out a game of me playing Reiju. Let me find it real quick, guys. We checked out, yeah, we did the spoilers, this game on the sim. Now we're going to go over to my game of Reiju. Now, with this version of the build, okay, let me make sure the volume's off, speed is 2x, we're good to go. With this version of the build, guys, notice what's in my hand right now. This is not your standard run-of-the-mill Reiju deck, right? This is a very, very different style of deck. Now, my opponent plays out a Doflamingo. Very nice. They're going to set their top 5 cards. A little bit early for that. A little bit early. But now in this situation here, I'm just going to, you know, fix a little bit of cards on top of them. You know, real quick, guys, do y'all see what happened here? Let me show y'all real quick. Hang on. They hit me with a pudding there. Let me show y'all what this card does. Swing first, proper order. Now, pause. Ulti does not reveal... Okay, hang on. Ulti is a 4-cost, 5,000 power character that it also has a 1k counter. And on play, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, you draw one to your hand, and you don't reveal it. It does not have to be Animal Kingdom Pirates. There's no restriction on that card. You see what it is, it goes to your hand. Okay, my opponent does not get to see it. And now you can choose to put these remaining 2 cards on the top of your deck or the bottom of your deck. Very, very powerful effect there, guys. This is one of those cards that's just like criminally underplayed. Big fan of it, though. Okay, next up here. I feel like, you know, I'm starting to have like deja vu or something. Have I already shown this list? I'm starting to think I've already shown this list, and I apologize if I have, guys, but I don't think I have. Okay, so my opponent is going to swing for 5 at me here with the Doflamingo. I'm going to 2k counter out. I'm going to swing 5 into the Dofi. I would love to get these cards out of his hand, absolutely. Look how hard he countered out of that, guys, and now I'm going to play out Magellan. You lose 1 Dawn, I lose 1 Dawn. I get to draw a card for my leader effect. Magellan with Reiju, guys. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, Magellan with Reiju. So solid. Okay, let's see what my opponent wants to do now. They want to get to 9 and 10 Dawn as fast as they can, so that way they can actually start, you know, getting benefits from their leader's effect. But I'm just like, okay, I'll just play out these Magellans and just stop you. So he swings in for 6 there. I 2k counter out. Right here, I probably could have taken that, but it's a little dangerous. Okay, so right here, I'm interested in just removing their board. Okay, so right here, I think I might... So I have 7 in hand. I'm probably going to play out a Reiju this turn or play out the Zephyr. That's a nice card too, guys. I get to keep my pressure, or keep the pressure on my opponent, establish a 7-cost 7k body. Now I still have the Reijus in my hand if I need those. If for whatever reason I need one as a 1k counter, they have that over the Zephyr. And I'll be able to draw a lot of cards next turn, playing around, putting a little more, if that makes sense, you know. But I still got to draw a card from the Zephyr effect because it returns a Dawn to my hand. And remember, guys, the leader gets to draw a card every single time that you return, or, well, excuse me, once per turn when you return a Dawn card, you know, on your turn. Okay, swing 5 into 5. He takes it. That's kind of what Queen wants to do. They're going to play out X-Drake, and now things are just going to get horrible for my opponent, right? You don't want to attack into my, what's his name, my Magellan. Okay, he's going to swing 6 into life right here. Just take it. That's fine. It had Banish from Nami. That's okay. Guys, don't force yourself to counter out of a Banish attack unless you have to. If you have to, you have to. But in this situation, it's like, do I want to lose 2 cards from my hand, or do I want to lose 1 card from my life? That's almost an equivalent value if you think about it. But it's like, these cards in my hand are going to draw me 2 cards each and establish a body. I'd rather hold on to those. And they're 1k counters. And look at the card that, just real quick, there was no way of me knowing this, but look at what the card was that got trashed. It was literally a Zephyr. I don't need that card right now. That was just luck, but still. Okay, swing 5 at life. I think I have an 8 Dawn turn here. So I swing 5 at life. I'm going to swing 6 at life, and then I'm going to swing 7 at life. I'm just kind of beating this guy down right now, right? Like, this is a very good spot for me. Right here, I'm going to play out Reiju. Double Reiju to draw. I just drew 4 cards. I just drew 4 cards right there, guys, because I had less Dawn than my opponent. Seems good. We'll take it every time. The other option there is I could have played out a Queen to defend more, but I've just drawn so many cards, I can do some pretty, you know, crappy counters out. I didn't get any 2k counters, but it's like, okay, I can sacrifice a double 1k to get out of this just to make sure I can't lose. Okay, and now I'm kind of tempting him like, hey, I just had to use 1k, You want to swing with your blocker? Go ahead, right? Hey, please swing with your blocker here. Okay, in this situation, I have 5 attacks. He has 3 cards in hand and 2 life and 1 blocker. It's like you're going to start giving me some cards here, bud. Yeah, I mean, like now you have pretty much no chance to, to get out of that. So I'm going to swing lots and lots of 7s. Okay, let's see what happens here. So I think I'm just going for game, by the way. Like, the way the math works out, I just don't think he can survive this. So if he couldn't get out of that 7, he would have. Pause, look what's in his hand. He was bricked up there. It was going to be 8. If he could not get out of that, then, I think I should have swung for 7, though. Technically speaking, I think I should have swung for 7. And then if he gets out of that, then I could just play out my guy, my queen, and sit behind a wall there. But otherwise, sometimes you do have to take a risk. But technically speaking, the correct play would have been to swing 7 with Reiju. And then he would have blocked it because he doesn't have anything left in hand. Then I can go in for 10 with my leader, GG. Really good stuff there. I do think there is some potential here for Reiju to have something like this going on for her. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens in time, what more support that comes, purple and blue's way. But I kind of like the idea of just using Reiju as a generic leader. Because what is Reiju's biggest weakness right now? Red-purple law. And I understand, the Vinsmoke family stuff, the Germa 66 stuff is what makes this leader very powerful. But maybe you only run a few cards from that, and then maybe we can make like a very generic style deck that just draws a bunch from the leader effect and plays all the strongest cards from purple and blue. We'll have to see. Y'all tell me what y'all think of that in the comment section below. Okay, let's check out the deck list real quick, and we'll wrap up this video. I think I mentioned it a few times in the video. I wanted this to be a pretty short one, and I want all my weekend videos to be pretty short going on from from here on out. Hang on one second, guys. I left this up the entire time. I guess we had the exact same resolution for that. That's funny. Okay, there we go. All right, so here we go, guys. This is the list that I was running. Reiju, like I said, this is what the leader does. It's 5,000 power, 4 life. Your turn, once per turn, when one of your Dawn cards. Or excuse me, when one of your Dawn cards on the field is returned to your Dawn deck, draw 1 card. Solid, very generic, very solid. So with an effect like Queen, you're drawing 3 cards and discarding 1. Okay, with Reiju, you're drawing 2 cards with this, but like with a card like Zephyr, you're popping a 5,000 power or less character and you're drawing a card. Magellan, you're playing out a 5-cost 6K, taking a Dawn away from your opponent. You're taking one from you too, but you're used to that, right? With a leader, you want to do that. But you're taking a Dawn from your opponent and you're drawing a card. Like, this effect is so strong. And I'm also running 4 Top Knots. This is a Dawn -2, bottom deck of 4 or less. Bottom deck, guys. Not trash, not KO, not tap. Put the return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less to the bottom of its owner's deck. And then the trigger, of course, activates the main effect. Really good stuff there. I am running the Trafalgar Laws because this could potentially make my opponent trash 2 cards and let me draw a card and establish a blocker. It just seems good. The Khalifa is decent if you're going to be able to attack with it, because then it's just like a Queen. Draw 3, trash 1. And it's a 2K counter otherwise. And I don't have any searchers. Well, I don't really need it, right? As long as I'm using effects, even my 2K counters are turning my effect on, right? That's why I'm running the ulti plus page 1 combo potential. Because in this deck, it's like, okay, I'll play out a 4-cost 5K 2K counter, or excuse me, a 4-cost 5K body, return 1 Dawn to play out my page 1, and I'll draw a card with my leader effect. It's like it replaced itself. It's just so strong like that. Ulti, I'm just experimenting with. The Eustace Kid just makes sense in here. We'll have to see how this goes. And everything else is self-explanatory, guys. Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger. Could probably go down to 3 of these. Like, honestly, I probably could go down to 3 of these and maybe put in like a king or 2. We'll have to see. But I am running 12 2K counters. I'm running 4 X-Drakes, 4 Khalifa, and 4 ulti. And then most of the rest is 1K counters, but there's a few bricks in here, right? We are running the Zephyrs, we are running the Eustace Kids and the Magellans, but then the events you could consider bricks, but maybe not if you're playing them right on curve when you need to. But yeah. One more thing I'll say on this deck before just kind of finishing off here. This card, Magellan, in Reiju feels very strong. Like, I think there is something there. And I think this deck is okay going first or second. If I got to pick, I'd probably go first so I can start just beating my opponent's face in. Because if I can go turn 3, so in other words, turn 1 pass. Turn 2, there's literally not a play. That's something we could work on, is making a lower end play. Like maybe play out a, is it Wire, I think his name is? Maybe we add this card to the list. If a Dawn card is returned to the Dawn deck, draw 1 card and trash 1 card. Maybe we add a card like this or the other one. I think his name's Heat. Yeah, this guy. When a Dawn card is returned to the Dawn deck from the field, he gets plus 2,000. So there's some options there. If you want another blocker, you can go with Wire. If you want something that just gets bigger, go with Heat. There's some possibilities there for a 3-cost card. But then for your turn 3 play, so back to what we were saying. Turn 3, drop down Magellan, draw a card, return a Dawn, your opponent loses a Dawn, and you've got this character on the board now that they don't want to KO. Like, hey, by all means, KO my Magellan. Please KO my Magellan. Because, you know, then they lose 2 more Dawn. Really good stuff there. Very fun. Zephyr's pretty cool as well because so let me read what his effect is for those who don't know. This is a 7-cost, 7,000 power character on play, Dawn -1. Nullify all abilities from up to one of your opponent's characters this turn. Then, if your character, if that character has 5,000 power or less, KO it. So Borsalino on your opponent's turn gets plus 1,000 and cannot be KO'd by effects. You play out Zephyr. Oh well, I don't care anymore, and now I just pop your character. It's just so strong, guys. It's so strong like that. Really good stuff here. This deck felt very strong. Oh, and by the way, it draws a card, right, with your Reiju. If you haven't used this effect for the turn, and you play this out to pop one of their guys, you're returning a Dawn to do it, so now you're drawing a card as well. A lot of card draw built in. You got 4 Reijus, you got 4 Queens, and then, you know, your leader effect. You're just and even 4 ultis. You're just kind of fixing your hand all day. I think there's something here, guys. It needs work. I'm not saying this is a finished list, and please understand that too, guys. A lot of people see the deck and they're like, "Hey, why aren't you running this card?" Because it's just like it's just the beginnings of the list. I'm trying to get ideas out there for you guys to run with, right? Because think about it. I'm going over a new deck pretty much every single day, and I don't circle back around to that same leader until like 30 days later, like a month or 2 later. I don't have time to finalize every one of these lists. I can only kind of get the deck started, and then I need other people to help me finish it who are interested in maybe pursuing that leader. Okay, and I will revisit it in the future. And if people give me ideas in the comment section, of course I'll run with them. But like I said, when people ask, like, "Hey, why aren't you running this card?" I know you probably can find a really good card out there, and that's what I need. I need people to find these good cards, and then we can revise the list and all that. All right, I'm done rambling, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Real quick, big shout out to the VV Pirates Playmat supporters. Thank you guys so much for helping me out. Big shout out to the VV Pirates patron page here. Everyone here who's just literally helping me out for just to help me out. Thank you to everybody who watches, likes, subscribes, shares. What else? Comments, likes, subscribe, shares, or even just watches, right? Just there's like the 5 I always name off. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think about the VV Lab for the community section of the video where I review someone's video. I think it's kind of cool, but you guys tell me what y'all think. All right, I'm done. Like I said, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, peace.